I honestly want to be considered one of the hardest men to walk the planet Earth in the history of the world. And what I mean by hard, I'm not talking about the guy who does the most pull-ups, the most sit-ups, runs the most. Just a person who's able to overcome any adversity in front of them, to figure out a way. Hardness isn't about all this physical shit, man. Yeah, it helped me get to where I'm at. But all I was doing in the whole process, the process wasn't to be ripped. It wasn't to walk around with my shirt off. That wasn't it. I knew through the physical challenges, through the physical suffering, my mind was getting stronger. I was literally doing that for a reason. I had a weak mind. All the rest just happened to come with it. I was trying to strengthen the mind to handle all the judgment that's passed on me, perceived and not. Sometimes you make it up in your own head. I just want to be able to handle all of that. Everything, physical, mental, like an old school barbarian, an old school guy that's like, God, dog, man, nothing can hurt the guy, which is why the book is titled, Can't Hurt Me. I want people to have that mantra in their life. Take that with you. And if you believe that and you work towards that, callous in your mind, strengthen yourself, Can't Hurt Me is strong. In any situation, like when I was in Buzz, they beat the shit out of you. I'd be the first one to get up and say, Can't hurt me, motherfucker. And they were beating the hell out of me. But you say that enough to you. False motivation becomes fucking real motivation after a while.
Self-esteem was built at a young age. I had 0. So that's why that discipline for me was so fucking important. It takes nothing to be a loser. And that's why I hold most people to a higher standard, because I know how little it takes, little ability. Like you need no talent, you need no greatness inside of you, and you can still be a bad motherfucker. When I was going through Navy SEAL training, there's one thing I told myself. I wanted to quit every single day, but many dreams die while suffering. And many of us out here have suffered. And when you're suffering, I'm not talking about just physically, I'm talking about emotionally, spiritually. It could be a relationship. When you're suffering, you give up on the very things that you wanted the most. When I was going through pararescue, I wanted to be a pararescueman so bad, but that water haunted me. So when the suffering got too much, my dream died. And pretty much I almost died with it. If I didn't find Navy SEALs and getting past that hump and overcoming my demons and facing my demons every day, I would have never been up here today. You can't outrun your demons. They'll always know where you're hiding. Trust me at that. And I'm gonna end with this. Don't stop when you're tired, stop when you're done.
But trying to find your best self, you become unbalanced. And people always talk about this mythical creature called the balance. You want to be balanced. I think balance is a bunch of bullshit. If you want to be great at anything, the Michael Jordans, the Tiger Woods, the greatest people of all times, the daggone Kazmaiers. If you talk to these guys, you talk to Roger Federer, they, on the surface, they have a life. But I guarantee you drill down deep, man, they are so off fucking balance. Their life doesn't eat, like, you get them on a teeter-totter, you're not gonna come down. It's just not balanced, and that's how you become great. So you lose a lot of your life, but I made a choice to become unbalanced. And the people that love me realize, you know what? This is who I'm with. This is who he is. This is who he wants to be. So yeah, you do lose a lot, but you gain a lot also.
And every foot strike that hits the pavement, that's how I feed myself. Motherfuckers look for inspiration. Inspiration's found in every footstep you take, every grasp of that fucking iron bar, all that shit, all the miles in the pool. Inspiration's found in suffering.
See, I love watching fights, man. Cause I see them and I start to say, okay, you're in a bad situation, man. And I see a couple guys getting ready to fucking tap.
Yeah.
And that 1 second decision, I call it, they're thinking, man, I gotta tap. It's like, and you see the hand motion, like I'm about to tap, and it goes somewhere else. Not today, motherfucker.
Yeah.
Because I've been here. I've been here before. I can last maybe just one more second, and this 1 second may get me out of this shit. And I see how the mind is evolving in that one moment, that one quick moment. I see that a million thoughts went through their fucking mind, and it didn't tap. The only thing that changes your fucking DNA is discipline.
Yes.
Discipline is the only thing that changes your DNA, man.
This is the only thing.
Only thing, man. You could be so up. And I realized that, man. I was like, man, the only thing that changed my DNA is discipline. I always fix the things on the surface. If I couldn't read and write, I learned to read and write. I would always fix these things on the surface level. And so whenever something hard would like raise its ugly head, I didn't have any kind of tools to handle it. I'm like, man, I thought I fixed this already, man. But no, I didn't go deep into the dungeon of my soul to say, okay, what is making you a quitter? What is making you a weak man? What is making you afraid? That's why I kept on quitting and going back to start, or not knowing how to get through hard times. You put a sword in the fire repeatedly and repeatedly. If you keep on doing that, you're gonna get a nice sword. And then you keep on beating it. You gotta beat the shit out of it. And that's what I am.
Yeah.
I became that. I said, okay, we can't quit. We gotta figure out why you are this pussy. Why are you this pussy, man? What is wrong with you? What's going on here? So I kept on putting the sword back in the daggone fire, and I just beat it harder. And I beat it harder. Before I knew it, I started realizing, all right, man, the brain is starting to get hard. The brain is starting to get hard. I'm no longer a theorist. I'm now a practitioner. I put it in hell. I dissected it while it's in hell, because you can't dissect anything in a normal environment. You can't dissect anything in 72-degree weather. You must put it in the fucking freezer and freeze the fuck out of it. And then you dissect it. Dissect it when it's miserable. Dissect the brain when all it's thinking about is, I need to get out of here, man. I want to get out of the fucking freezer. Open the door. And he said, nah, 5 more seconds, man. 5 more seconds in the freezer. And that's when you start to pick that brain apart. And that's what all this stuff did to me. I kept on putting myself back into the freezer or the fire and beating the shit out of myself, mentally and physically. Before I knew it, this is what happened. We're scared to dive into our lives, what made us who we are. The beautiful people that we are, we're all jacked up in so many ways. That's the beauty of us. That's the beauty of me. I'm jacked up, but I figured out my own little process on how to get unjacked up. You know, I'm not gonna get the same way you're gonna get there. You may get there by going point A to point B. I might go point C to D to E to F, but I'm gonna be there the same way you are, just a little harder. That's how I train my brain. This was like literally a trained skill for me, was I'm always preparing for like not being a bitch. I got to a point in my life where I realized this is life. And so I move on past things real quick. So people are like, oh my God, what are you gonna do, David, if you can't run? Motherfucker, I'll swim. Or I'll go to college, or I'll do something else. It's like, this isn't my life. I'm very aware how quick life can take shit from you. I've always prepared my mind for the next chapter. Man, when you've done without, like Kobe Bryant, when Kobe f***ing retired that last game, he like 60 points or some shit, he walked off the court. He didn't f***ing cry. He said, oh my God, I'm gonna miss the sport, whatever. He walked off. He gave everything he could. Man, when you f***ing give what I've given, and motherfuckers like to say, oh, you don't f***ing know shit, which makes me who I am. I've given everything. People make, oh, you ran on f***ed up knees, you taped your feet up, you did blah, blah, you had 2 heart surgeries, you kept on going. Yep, sure did. I had somewhere to f***ing go. I had somewhere to f***ing go, and I got there. And buddy, when motherfuckers tell you, you can take a break now, hey, you're f***ed up, as long as my knees are halfway working, I got to run. You telling me, man, maybe a chance I can't run no more? Give me an excuse to not do shit, but as long as I have no excuse, I gotta do it. Because I was happy where I was. I gave everything. I gave everything to who I am. People, oh, I don't believe that. Don't believe it. I gave everything. And when you give everything, man, you have no regret.